you're not sure how to set up your browser so that you can always get to your favorite sites quickly and easily and not have to wait for others to help you with this, then this is the video for you. This is Liz with Senior Tech Connect. Welcome to our Browser Basics Favorites Bookmarks Bar video. In this video, we're going to cover two of the most requested things that your tech friends have asked us to teach you. The first is adding favorites or bookmarks to your bookmarks bar of your browser. Now, if I'm saying browser, new tab, address bar, and those things you don't know what I'm talking about, then I suggest strongly that you stop this video and that you go and watch our browser basics video first, so that the terminology that we use and the functions that we're going to have you do during your practice, you'll know more about because they're covered in the browser basics video. So please, if you don't know what I'm talking about already, then please go watch that. All right, if you're still with us, then welcome. And we're going to be covering adding, editing, and removing bookmarks from your bookmarks bar. The second thing that we're going to cover is once you get your bookmarks bar the way you want it, and then suddenly it disappears. What are you going to do? We've all had that happen. This is going to help you not have the pit in the bottom of your stomach when it does. You're going to know what to do, and you're going to be able to do it without anybody helping you. You're going to do this yourself. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we do, a few reminders. Most importantly, thank you so much for making a difference in our world. You are here for a reason, and we are so glad that you are choosing to spend some of your time today with us. Here at Senior Tech Connect, our motto is you're never too old to learn something new or relearn something forgotten. And to help you with that, we have a free note sheet over on our website, seniortechconnect.net, for this video. If you don't have that yet, you can pause this video, open up a new tab, and then go over to seniortechconnect.net, go to the videos and note sheets page, and find the note sheet for browser basics, favorites, bookmarks, and go ahead and print that off so you've got that to take notes during the video. We will refer to it during the video, so it'll be helpful if you have it. And then lastly, we really appreciate your watching the video today and for sharing us with your friends and family. This does so much for us to help our channel to grow, more than anything that we try, anything else that we try. So please, please, we thank you so much for taking time to watch and for sharing this with your friends and family. So let's get started. All right, during this video, we are going to talk about your favorites, your bookmarks bar. You'll find us in your browser right below the website address line. And yours may look different than mine, but the functions of it will be there, and it may look different because it depends on who set your browser up, what settings are set up in your browser. So for example, whoever set your computer up may have already set up some of your favorites. So that person may have said, oh, mom, or hey, grandma, or hey, friend, what are the websites that you go to most often? And they quickly set that up for you. They may also have saved passwords. They may have done all kinds of things so that when you open up your browser, it's easiest for you to use. And others, if you didn't have anybody help you set it up, sometimes the browser itself, when you download the browser or when you use the browser that comes with your machine, it comes preloaded with some favorites. And those favorites were decided on by the company that makes your browser. That could be that they're there because the browser says, oh, we have found in our market research that these are the sites that most people go to, so let's go ahead and set it up. And it also could be that specific companies paid them money so that they would be included in the favorites, knowing that people would just click on them and go there. So for example, some shopping sites will do that. Some news sites will do that. We'll show you in this video, if you're not going to those places, we'll show you how to remove them. We'll also show you how to edit those that are currently on your bar, but we're going to get started with showing you how to add them. But before we do that, one more note. These are here and they're designed so that when you click on it, it takes you to that web page on your active tab of your browser. So if you're actively looking at email and suddenly you decide, oh, I'm in the mood to learn something new, I'm going to pop over to Senior Tech Connect. And in your email tab that's open, you click over to Senior Tech Connect favorite, then your email would then only be accessible either by clicking on an icon that you have set up for your email or clicking your back button. So we strongly suggest, as you start to learn more about how to use your browser, if you're going to go to a new website, start doing that by doing a new tab. Okay, so click on that little plus sign, open up a new tab to go to a new place. It's just a good habit to get into so that you can keep everything open that you're used to having open, and then if you're going to a new place, go to a new tab first and then go ahead and go to that site. So first thing we're going to cover in this video is how to add to your favorites and Bookmarks Bar, how to add new favorites. So to begin that, we're going to strongly suggest that you start with a new open tab, a new tab that's open. That's step one. So to add a favorite or bookmark to your bar that's not already there, you're going to start at a new tab. Your next step is going to be opening up the web page that you want to go to, the web page that you want to set up as a favorite. You're going to pull that up. So in our example, we're using justserve.org, which is a great organization. We feature it on our website, our page that's called Opportunities to Serve. This is one of the organizations that we encourage you to get involved with because it will help you to search for service opportunities. So you're already making a difference in your world, and this will give you more opportunities to find additional ways that you can serve while you're here. You're going to open up the web page that you want, and step 3 is you're going to click on the little star that's on the end of the address line to mark it as a favorite or to bookmark it. And star is the most commonly used. It's actually the only icon, the only image that I've seen different browsers use. There's more than 200 browsers available currently, so there is probably some other image that's used by some browser. Again, if your browser has a different image, please note that in the comments below so that we can add that as a note to our note sheet saying, oh, and in this browser, it's this image. So that can help others that are using the same browser you're using. But the ones that we've seen, it's a star. The star might look slightly different than this, have little lines next to it or little glowy things around it, but star is what seems to be the image that's used. So you're going to click on that. And once you click on that, a box opens. And in this case, in Chrome, the box says, oh, your bookmark's been added. So you're like, yay, that's so happy. Okay, cool. And you click done. Well, there's a couple times in this that we're going to remind you the importance of reading the words in the box. So let's look at the words in this box. It says bookmark added. Cool, that's what we wanted. This page is saved to other bookmarks. Well, wait a minute. That's not, I wanted it to go to my bookmarks bar, not to a folder. So instead of clicking done, I am going to click edit. And when I click edit, it opens up the edit bookmark box. So in the edit bookmark box, this lets us change a couple of things. First is the name, which is important because the programmers have made it so that it pulls over the name of the web page that you're on, but it sometimes also pulls over the tagline of the website. And you'll notice Senior Tech Connect, our tagline is long because the tagline is talking about what our website's about. It's saying, to learn tech tools to better connect to their world. And so it's a long tagline, which helps us when people are searching for that in Google. And so sometimes often when you click on this, the name of this is going to take up your whole thing and then continue even further than that. And you don't want your bookmark to be called that huge long name because that will take up more space on your bookmark bar. So you can take the time now in the edit bookmark, you can change the name. So in our example, just change it to just serve. And then you can also change the location of it. So to change the location, I don't want it to go into my all bookmarks folder. So I'm going to click on that little arrow there, and that brings up choices. And there's the bookmarks bar. That's the one that I want. So I'm going to click on bookmarks bar, and then I would click done. And I would have my new bookmark. It would be called Just Serve, and it will be on my Bookmarks Bar. Yay! So a quick note for those of you that are using Gmail, meaning that your email has blah, blah, blah at gmail.com. Gmail users, if you are using Chrome, you'll have a little part at the bottom of your box. Other browsers with other kinds of email types might have a similar function, so I'm going to talk about it here. We will talk about these kinds of things in other videos if there's specific Gmail, Chrome things that make your life easier. So this is one of those. So you can ignore it if you are not a Gmail user and you are not using Chrome. So just, you can shut your brain off for the next few seconds. Anyway, if you are using Gmail and you want your bookmarks on all of your devices, you want your bookmarks to be the same on all of your devices, then you're going to turn on sync. And that's what this little thing at the bottom of that box lets you do. So you can make so that all of your bookmarks are the same on your computer, your phone, your tablet, as long as you're logged in with that Gmail account. So think about how you use your devices, the internet on your devices, and if you want to have that happen. For me, I don't turn on sync because I have one of my devices I use just mostly for business stuff, and for my computer I use it for personal and business. So if I turned on sync, then I would have business stuff everywhere, and I don't want business stuff everywhere. So I don't turn on sync. But if you're at a point in your life where you pretty much are all personal stuff and you would like all of your devices to act the exact same way and have the same bookmarks, then do turn on sync, and then all of your bookmarks will match. All of your favorites will match across your devices. So that's a handy function if you're using Gmail and Chrome. All right, so importance of reading the things in the box. We're going to go back to that for a sec to show you something else that is handy. So it says bookmark added, yay! This is saved to other bookmarks, which we talked about. Nope, that's not where we wanted, so we went to edit, right? So let's look at bookmarks. Other bookmarks, if you notice, it's a different color and it's underlined. That means that if we click on that, it will take us someplace else. It's going to open up a function or take us to someplace. So I'm going to click on that. When I click on that, it actually opens up a different edit bookmark box. Yay! So this happens to actually be the old bookmark box, the one that we've just looked at. The recording of this was December of 2023, and Chrome actually just barely redid their bookmark programming. And so the box that we have been seeing previously in this video is their new bookmarks box, and this is their old one, but we can still get to it by clicking on other bookmarks. It still gives us the ability to edit the name. We can change the name, and you'll notice here the name would go on even longer because it's a bigger box and still off the screen. So we can edit the name, but this one also lets you edit the URL. So URL is the term that computer people use for a web address. And so here's the web address, but you don't want to modify that at all. And I'm betting that that's one of the features of the new screen, because the new screen didn't have this capability. So just ignore this field. Do not change the URL. You can change the name. That's great. And you can click in this big box to wherever you want it to go. So we want it to be in the bookmarks bar. We would click on that, and then we would click save. Now, another function that we actually cover in great detail in the Browser More Than Basics video is you can also create folders. So you can create a, like with me, I have lots of bookmarks. And so I actually use this folder capability because I then put all of the different kinds of bookmarks that I use, I put them into folders, categories that helps me to organize that. So if you're into that, if you're interested in that, that will be in the Browser More Than Basics video, which once it is created, it will be in a link in the description below this video. And it will also be in an end at the very end of the video where you can click and watch that next if you wanted to. But for now, you would click this and it gives you a different edit. You can name, you can change where it's located, and then it's save instead of done. So next we're going to talk about editing or deleting, removing bookmarks that are already there. So we've already seen when we have one that's already there, that star turns a color. That's how we tell the system we want to have something be a bookmark. So in Chrome, you can now just click on that star that's already there, that's already colored. You can click on that and it will, as the tooltip says, so when you hover over it, it'll say your tooltip, that little box that pops up that says, hey, this is this. It'll say edit bookmark for this tab. So I can click on that. Other browsers, I can right click on it and it will bring up the edit box. Or, so often with computers, there's multiple ways to do the same thing. So in Chrome, I can click on that, or I can click on the bookmark itself. I can click on the bookmark itself. I can right click on it. When I right click on it, so notice the tooltip here, if I hover over a bookmark, it will show me what the exact website is that it's going to pull up. So that's handy if you, like my husband, have a gazillion bookmarks and you only see the little image and you're like, oh, I can't remember what that image is. Just hover over that bookmark and it'll tell you what it is. Back to what we're doing. We're going to edit. So we can click on the star, or we can right click on the bookmark itself. And if we right click on the bookmark itself, it brings up a menu and we can find edit there and we will open up the edit bookmark screen. Lots of other possibilities here. We're not going to talk about those right now. We cover a lot of those in the Browser More the Basics video. Okay, so we edit, so either clicking on the star or right clicking on the icon, click edit, and that brings up our edit bookmark screen, which we've already gone through. So hopefully you're feeling pretty comfortable with looking at this. Oh yeah, I can change the name in it. I can tell it I want it to be in the bookmarks bar or I want it to be someplace else, and then I can click done. But something else I want you to notice. On the menu and in this edit bookmark, you can remove one that's already there. Yay! Or right clicking on it, getting the menu, you can delete it. Now, quick note, with the delete, most of the time, hopefully you've noticed on computers, when you click something, when you click and you say you want to delete something, a box pops up usually that says, hey, are you sure about this? Do you really want to delete this? And then you click OK, or you say yes, and you know, whatever the programmers want you to say that says, yeah, I want to do that. I want to delete it. I want it gone. For some reason, in this particular programming, when you click delete, that doesn't happen. The bookmark just goes away. Now, luckily, because you've watched this video and then you're going to practice after the video and during the video, hopefully now you feel comfortable, or you will feel comfortable with, okay, if I accidentally delete one, I know how to bring it back, because I will just go to that web page that I want and I'll click to make it a favorite, and then I will tell it I want it on the bookmark bar, I want it to have this name, and I'm good. But notice that you can remove. And so one of the things that we're going to have you do after this video is actually go through your browser's bookmarks bar and get rid of the ones that are just taking up real estate on your screen. Get rid of the ones you're not using. All right, are you ready? We're going to our first practice of this video. So if you've not watched other videos with Senior Tech Connect, I'll tell you how this works. If you have, then just hold with me for a second. You know, it doesn't take too long. So we have, during our videos, most of our videos will have a practice session or more than one. And during that, I will read through the instructions of what we want you to do during this practice, and then you're going to pause the video and you're going to do those things. So these instructions are here on the screen, but sometimes during the instruction it tells you to go to a new tab, which if you notice, that's the first thing on this one. Once you do a new tab, this video will disappear because your active tab of your browser will now be the new tab. So you'll have to come back, click back to the video tab to see these instructions. So for that reason, we also put these practice now instructions into the note sheet. So if you've printed off the note sheet, then you can just go to find the part of the note sheet, it's several pages, find the part that does the practice for favorites and bookmarks. So it'll always have the name of that up at the top. So you're looking for the practice for favorites and bookmarks. And then it will give you these steps, sometimes gives you additional steps, but it gives you these steps to practice while you're doing this. So we're going to go through these instructions and then I will have you pause the video and actually do it. And then you'll do it. You'll come back and you'll unpause the video and we'll continue. So for this practice, I want you to go to a new tab. You're going to open up a new tab. So you're going to click on that little plus in the circle and open up a new tab, and you're going to go to seniortechconnect.net. You're going to find the star or the favorite for favorites or bookmarks icon of your browser, whatever that is, and you're going to click on it and give it a new name. Give it a shorter name because ours is really long. Sorry, but that's just the way that it works. So go ahead and give it a shorter name. Then you're going to add it to your Bookmarks Bar or your favorites bar so that you have easy access to it later. That will help you as you watch our other videos so that you can always get there first. Once you decide what video you're going to watch, you can get there and find the note sheet. So once you've done that, then go ahead and return to the YouTube tab and unpause the video. Now, this one actually has some stuff we want you to do after you watch the video. And so after you're done watching the whole video, we want you to go back to the practice, think about it, and then take your browser, look at it seriously and think, okay, what other websites do I want to add to my favorites bar? And get those added to your favorites bar. Give them good names, add them to your favorites bar for easy access later. And then look at it again and go, which of these that are on here I don't use? Then you're going to right click, right? You're going to right click on those icons and you're going to, in the menu, you're going to choose delete and get rid of the ones that you don't use. All right, so that's what we're going to do for this practice. So go ahead and pause this video and complete this practice. All right, welcome back. Yay! Hopefully you are successful in that practice. And if not, if you're not feeling comfortable with it yet, you can always practice with other things after this video. In this video so far, we've talked about how to add, edit, and remove things from your favorites bar. And you've gotten it exactly the way you want it. It's perfect. You love it. It makes you happy when you open up the web pages and you go to your browser and you can get to anything you want, and it reminds you of the different places that you like to go when you're online. And one day you open it up and it's gone. And if you've had this happen before, some thoughts might have gone through your head. You might have think, uh-oh, mine's broken. Who broke it? Or, oops, I broke it. And that could be that could be the case. You maybe clicked on some things that made it disappear. But as soon as we get through this, you're not going to have the stress that you might be feeling right now, or the frustration of, well, now I have to go look up the sites that I want. And instead of feeling that stress, just remember, because you're watching this video, you don't need to wait. You don't need to call somebody else to come fix this for you. This is going to be you are going to learn how to do it yourself. You can do it, and as soon as you see how easy it is, you are going to be just so happy. So there's 3 steps that are involved for you to do this yourself. 1, first step is you're going to click on the 3 dots in the corner. Click on the 3 dots, it opens up a menu. This menu has lots of things that you could get totally lost in, but you're not going to do that. You're going to look for the words bookmark or favorites. So you open up your menu and you look for bookmarks or favorites, and you're going to click on that. The other things we cover in the More Than Basics video. So you're good. You can watch that and learn other things, but right now we're focusing on bookmarks or favorites. So you're looking for bookmarks or favorites, and notice that it has the little triangle there that says, okay, there's more. We've got a sub menu to find. So you're going to click on that, and then you're going to look in your sub menu. This is Chrome. In Edge, there's actually an additional sub menu that we have in the note sheet. We show you how to do that. But so the 3rd step, after you click on bookmarks, you're going to click on this that says show bookmarks bar. Now, if your bookmarks bar is there already, then this will say hide bookmarks bar. So the way that this works in different browsers, it's show or hide or turning it on or off. So it's a toggle switch. You click on it once and it turns it on. You click on it again and it turns it off. Now in this one, in this browser, in Chrome, it says now show or hide. So I'll tell you what other browsers, what you might see in other browsers. It might have a checkbox there, an empty checkbox, and the checkbox, if it's empty, that means it's not turned on. And so it won't say show or hide. It'll just say bookmarks bar. and you would click on it to show it or hide it. Others have just an empty space there, and in the empty space, you would then click on the Show Bookmarks bar. It would then fill the empty space with a check mark. So when you get to your menu, in this part of your menu, you'd be able to tell kind of what your browser does. Make a note of that in your note sheet if you're not using Chrome. If you're using Chrome, then this is already in your note sheet. So one other thing to note is if you're using Edge, then you've got another triangle here because it lets you choose whether you want your Bookmarks bar, favorites bar to show always, never, or only on new tabs. So let's talk about that. So for some browsers, they have different rules that are available for new tabs versus regular tabs. So with a new tab, they're figuring, okay, I'm opening a new tab, so I obviously want to go someplace new, so maybe I want to go to one of my favorites. And so it will make those appear on your new tab, even if you've turned it off to not show on your regular tabs. So this is one of those where you're going to play with your browser now that you know that these functions are possible, because in the past you may not even have known that this was something that you could change, but now you do. So play with it. Approach it with play. That's one of the things that we talk about in the Tips for Adult Learners video, and the importance of, if you approach things that you're learning with play, it's easier for your brain to learn new things, but it takes away a lot of the fear that some of us will have, especially related to tech type things. So that's one of the things that I want you to do is open up a new tab, and it's in the practice. In the next practice, we'll have you do this, but you're going to open up a new tab. So you're going to click that little plus, you're going to open up a new tab, and you're going to notice, okay, does my browser, does it put them there? Even if I've turned them off everywhere else, do they still show up on a new tab, or do they not? In which case, do I want them to? Well, then I better look at the settings. I better turn them on from within a new tab, and then the computer will know, oh, okay, my browser will know when I open a new tab, I want them to show. So depending on how your browser is set up with its settings, I'm going to have you play with that. And at this point, because you're just becoming aware of this being a possibility, you may not have a personal preference yet. But guaranteed, as you start using and paying more attention to what your browser can do and the functions within it, you will develop a personal preference about this particular thing. With me, I miss it. It pulls my focus when I go to a web page, when I go on any tab, it pulls my focus if my bar is missing. And so because I don't want to have my focus pulled to something where then I just have to, my brain has to then remind myself, oh yeah, no, I've turned it off for those kind of, for web pages that are already open, I've turned it off. So I keep mine turned on all the time. So depending on how your brain works and what you like and what you find happy and what you find frustrating or distracting, you're going to set it up because now you know how to do that. So please, we're going to have you play with that. And then over time, if you don't have an opinion yet, great. You don't need to have an opinion yet, but as you start working on things and working more in your browser because now you know how to use it better and make the most of it, then you might develop a personal preference. But now, after you've practiced all of these things and you've gotten them down, you will know, oh, that's something I can change. That's something I have control over, and I'm going to fix my tech so that it works for me instead of me having to work for my tech. Last practice of this video. What happens when the bar disappears? So this is what I'm going to have you do. I'll have you pause after we go through the instructions. So the first thing, you're going to find those three dots of your browser, and you're going to click on favorites or bookmarks, depending on which browser you're using. You're going to click on either favorites or bookmarks from the menu, and then you're going to find in the menu or sub-menu, show or hide favorites bookmark bar. And I want you to click on that. So depending on what your browser is doing already, you're going to make it appear or you're going to make it disappear. And I just want you to toggle back and forth. Make it appear, make it disappear. You're being a magician. You are taking control, and I want you to play with this and do it until you're like, oh yeah, I've got this. I can totally do this myself. I don't need anybody else to help me with this part. Also want you to open a new tab. Now when you do that, this video tab, of course, is going to disappear. So not a problem. You can always return to your YouTube video tab. That's where this video is. But you're going to open up a new tab, and what happens there? Then come back to the YouTube tab and turn it off. Make it disappear so it's gone there. Then go back to a new tab. Is it there? Is it gone? And see what you can do with that, turning it on so it's on with a new tab. Maybe it's off everywhere, or maybe you want it always to show on every tab. Then go ahead and use your 3-dot menu, go to favorites, and click it so that it shows your bookmarks bar, or so that it doesn't. It's up to you. It's a personal preference thing. Perfect. Then you're going to come back to this video tab, and you're going to unpause the video, and we will finish up. All right, yay! Welcome back, welcome back. Okay, now thank you again so much for watching this video, for spending some of your time today with us. We are really, really grateful for any time that you choose to spend with us. Thank you for all that you're doing to make our world a better place to be. We appreciate that you are here. We are grateful for your experience that you have, and that you are willing to step into the world of learning new things about technology so that you can connect even better with and make our world an even better place to be. It takes some effort, and we really, really appreciate that. We also very much appreciate you sharing us with your friends and family. One thing to say with this video, now that you've learned how to do this, like I said, these two things were the things that people have requested of us the most as we shared with them that we were creating this channel. And so please get in touch with the person who used to do this for you, who was the person that when your bar disappeared, you would call them and say, I need help. And then you'd have to wait for them to be available to help you. Let them know that you've learned how to do this. Hopefully they will celebrate with you. If they don't, or if they aren't as celebratory as you wish they would be, then please join, come on over to our Facebook group. We have a closed Facebook group, and it is a place where others like you that are part of our Senior Tech Connect community are there, and we celebrate things like this over there. We are all woohoo woohoo. We are so proud that you take the steps to learn new things, because a lot of people in my age group and older just don't. It's the, oh no, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. And they're not going to learn. But you have been courageous, and you have taken steps to learn those things. So please come on over to Senior Tech Connect Facebook group and share that with us. You can also share it in a comment below this video if you want to. But share it with those that used to do this for you. And hopefully then if there's others that they are helping, they will be able to share us the things that you learned. Share it with your friends who don't know how to do this, because by you teaching them how to do it, it actually makes it stronger in your brain as well. So please do that. And then remember that we've got more resources available for you and your friends and family over at seniortechconnect.net. If you go to our videos and note sheets page, that's where there will be a list of all the videos that we have made so far. We'll also have a place there for videos that we're currently working on, and there will be a place where you can add a comment in so that you can say, hey, would you please do a video about this? So that's where you can go for that. And then we also have other fun resources on our website, so go ahead and go over there and explore. And then to help our channel, please like this video, add a comment below, and subscribe. Click the subscribe button, which helps you to find our channel later easier when you come back to YouTube. These three things actually help YouTube's algorithm to know, hey, this person has these characteristics. People that are like them with similar characteristics might like this video too. So it helps them to suggest our video to others. Like I've said, the most powerful thing is when you share us yourself with your friends and family. But these steps help us as well to grow our channel. So thank you so very much for all that you're doing. And again, thank you for watching. If you weren't able to like, comment, or subscribe, you probably are not logged in to YouTube while you're watching this video. So you'll want to log into YouTube, come back to this video, and then you can like, comment, or subscribe on it. And if you're not sure how to do that, we do have a YouTube basics video that shows you how to do that. And then we also have an account. If you don't have a YouTube account, we have a video that shows you just quickly how to create a Gmail or YouTube. Those two are connected. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account because Gmail is part of Google. And so all of the Google tools that Google has programmed, they're connected. So if you have Gmail, you are easily able to get into YouTube. So we've got those videos, and then any of the other videos that are on this screen are those that we thought might be helpful to you based on the comments and things that we get from others. So thanks again for all that you're doing to share us, helping yourself and others to better connect with your loved ones and our community and our world. Thanks so much and have a fabulous day.